Welcome to Book for Wealth, where we turn pages into profits. If you're ready to level up your financial game, you're in the right place. Every week, we break down the best and sometimes the worst finance books out there so you can invest your time and money wisely. Let's explore today's treasure trove of wealth wisdom. And if you want to check out today's title, there's a link in the description. Today's book is Rich Dad, Poor Dad, up for review by Robert Kiyosaki. Rich Dad, Poor Dad is a personal finance book that contrasts the financial philosophies of two father figures in Robert Kiyosaki's life: his biological father, the poor dad, and the father of his best friend, the rich dad. This book offers lessons on how to achieve financial independence and wealth through smart investing, entrepreneurship, and financial literacy. So, let me tell you, I've read this book a few times and it completely transformed my financial mindset. It was probably one of the first books about financial mindset that I had ever read. So, I first picked up this gem years ago. And let me tell you, it was a total game changer. The moment I started reading, I knew that I was on the brink of something big. The book opened my eyes to the world of financial independence, and the lessons I learned have been invaluable on my journey to wealth. Some of the key lessons from the book are the importance of financial education. So the book definitely emphasizes that traditional education teaches us how to work for money, but it often lacks education on how to make money work for us. Kiyosaki argues that understanding financial concepts such as assets, liabilities, and cash flow is crucial. Another key lesson is assets versus liabilities. One of the core teachings is the distinction between assets and liabilities. So Kiyosaki defines assets as things that put money into our pocket and liabilities as the things that take money out. The key to wealth is to acquire assets, minimize your liabilities. The value of entrepreneurship. Kiyosaki advocates for entrepreneurship and investment in real estate, stocks, and other income generating assets as the path to financial freedom, rather than solely relying on a traditional job. Mindset and risk taking. This book stresses the importance of having a growth mindset, being willing to take risks, and learning from failures. The rich dad mentality encourages being productive, seeking opportunities, and not being afraid of making mistakes. And the last key lesson that I'm going to focus on is the power of financial independence. Kiyosaki argues that financial independence it comes from controlling your own destiny by creating multiple streams of income and being less reliant on a paycheck from an employer. So, can these lessons realistically work in today's economy? The lessons from Rich Dad Poor Dad are timeless in many ways, but their effectiveness in the real world kind of depends on several factors. So, financial education, which is the principle of understanding the terms related to your finances, understanding how money works and how to manage it, and how to invest wisely. That's crucial in any economy, right? Assets versus liabilities. This distinction between assets and liabilities is solid for building wealth. However, the definition that constitutes an asset can vary based on how market conditions are. So, for example, real estate, which Kiyosaki heavily promotes, may not always be a guaranteed appreciating asset depending on economic factors. Entrepreneurship can be a path to wealth, but also involves significant risks. And the success of entrepreneurial ventures depends on market conditions, competition, the individual's skills and resources. And in today's economy, entrepreneurship is highly encouraged, but it does require careful planning, innovation, and adaptability. Now, investments. The book's advice on investing is sound, but the economic environment can influence the types of investments that are most beneficial. Stock markets can be volatile, real estate markets can crash, and interest rates it can affect the returns on investments. So, while Kiyosaki's advice to invest and whole assets is solid, the specific strategies need to be adapted to one's current economic situations. So I would give this book an 8 out of 10. And some of the reasons are the pros, which is educational value. The book does provide a foundational understanding of financial principles that are not often taught in traditional school systems. Inspiration. It encourages readers to think out of the box, to think differently about money and take control of their own finances and their financial futures. And actionable advice. The concepts of assets and liabilities, financial independence, and entrepreneurship are practical and can be applied by many people. Some of the cons that I found were that the concepts were a little bit simplified. Some critics can argue and have argued that Kiyosaki oversimplifies complex financial concepts and does not fully address the risks associated with his recommended strategies and real world applications. The principles are sound, but they may require some adaptation based on individual circumstances and the current economic environment. So, overall, Rich Dad Poor Dad is highly useful for those new to personal finance, and it offers a shift in mindset that can lead to better financial decisions. However, readers should combine its teachings with a realistic understanding of the economic conditions they are operating within. My top 5 quotes from Rich Dad Poor Dad. Number one, the single most powerful asset we have is our mind. If it is well trained, it can create enormous wealth. Number two, it is not how much money you make, but how much money you keep, how hard it works for you, and how many generations you keep it for. Number three, the love of money is not the root of all evil. The lack of money is the root of all evil. Number four, winners are not afraid of losing, but losers are. Failure is a part of the process of success. People who avoid failure also avoid success. Definitely like that quote. And number five, you're only poor if you give up. The most important thing that you can do, and the most important thing is that you did something. Most people only talk and dream about getting rich. You've actually done something. 4 top lessons that I learned from Rich Dad Poor Dad. Mindset matters more than money. So, financial success starts with a mindset that prioritizes learning, taking risks, and seeing failure as an opportunity for growth. Number two, financial education is essential. Traditional education teaches us to work for money, but financial education teaches us how to make money work for us. This is a key difference between the financially successful and those who struggle. Invest in assets, not liabilities. Understanding the difference between assets, which is something that puts money into your pocket, and liabilities, which takes money out, is crucial for building wealth. And the final lesson, take control of your finances. Rather than depending on employers, the government, or others, it's important to take personal responsibility for your financial well being. This includes learning about investments, taxes, and how to manage your own money. So, three top tips that I learned from Rich Dad Poor Dad. Number one, build multiple streams of income. Don't just rely on one income source. Invest in real estate, stocks, or start a business to create these multiple streams of revenue. Number two, learn how money works. Invest time in understanding financial principles such as how to read financial statements, understanding tax laws, and the power of compounding interest. Three, surround yourself with the right people. You're the average of the top five people that you hang around with. So engage with mentors, advisors, and like minded individuals who can provide guidance, inspiration, and support along your financial journey. Two things that you should never do again based on this book: never spend money without a plan. So avoid making financial decisions on impulse. Always have a budget and a financial plan in place before spending or investing any money. And number two, never rely solely on job security. Depending on a job as your only source of income is risky. Job security can be an illusion. It's also vital to create alternative income streams. Now, one thing